The world has gone quiet. Shadows stretch across the walls. Let your thoughts grow soft. A story waits in the stillness. If it brings you peace, like subscribing and tap the bell so you never miss a night. Now let the story find you. You step off the creaking wooden bridge, your sandals sinking slightly into the damp earth. The air is heavy with the scent of moss and cherry blossoms, their petals drifting lazily in the warm evening breeze. You have arrived in a small village nestled deep in the mountains of Japan, a place untouched by time where lanterns glow softly along narrow paths. You are here because of a letter, its ink faded, but its words urgent, penned by someone named Hana, a childhood friend you have not seen in years. She begged you to come, her message cryptic yet desperate, speaking of a promise you made long ago under a starlit sky. You barely remember that night, but the weight of her words pulls you here, to this forgotten corner of the world. The village feels alive yet eerily still. Bamboo creaks in the distance, and the faint ripple of a stream hums nearby. You clutch the letter in your pocket, its edges worn from your nervous fingers. Hannah said to meet her at the old shrine, the one perched on the hill where the sparrows sing at dawn. You glance up, the path winding through gnarled trees, their branches twisting, like fingers reaching for the fading light. Your heart beats a little faster, not from fear, but from something deeper, a pull you cannot name. As you walk, the villagers pass you with quiet nods, their faces half hidden by wide straw hats. They seem to know you, or perhaps they sense why you have come. An old woman, her hands gnarled as the trees, pauses to offer you a cup of steaming tea. You take it, the warmth seeping into your palms, and thank her with a smile. She says nothing, but her eyes linger, as if she sees something you do not. You sip the tea, its bitterness grounding you, and continue toward the shrine. The path steepens, and the air grows cooler. You notice a faint melody like the trill of a bird, but it is too early for dawn. The sound weaves through the trees, delicate yet insistent, guiding your steps. You wonder if it is the sparrow Hana spoke of, the one tied to her strange tale of a promise. Your memories of her are hazy, fragments of laughter and secrets shared in the summer heat. You were children then, weaving dreams under the stars, but one memory stands out, her voice soft and serious, making you swear to return if she ever called. The shrine comes into view, its red torii gate weathered but proud, standing against the twilight. You pause, catching your breath. The melody grows louder, not a bird but a flute, its notes curling around you like a lover's whisper. You feel a shiver, not from the cold, but from the sense that someone is watching. You turn, but the path behind you is empty, save for the swaying lanterns. You tell yourself it is just the wind, but your pulse quickens. At the shrine steps you see her. Hannah stands beneath a cherry tree, her long black hair catching the last rays of light. She is older now, her face sharper, but her eyes are the same, wide and searching. She wears a pale kimono, its edges frayed, and her hands clutch a small wooden box. You call her name, your voice soft in the quiet, and she turns, her smile hesitant but warm. You feel a rush of relief, but it is short-lived. Her eyes dart to the shadows, as if expecting something to emerge. You approach, the flute's melody fading into silence. Hannah steps forward, her voice barely above a whisper. She says she is glad you came, that you kept your promise. You want to ask what she means, what this promise entails, but her urgency stops you. She presses the wooden box into your hands, its surface carved with sparrows in flight. You feel its weight heavier than it looks, and notice her fingers tremble. She tells you to keep it safe, to never open it until the time is right. You ask when that will be, but she shakes her head, her eyes flickering to the shrine. The air shifts, heavier now, as if the night itself is listening. You notice the lanterns along the path flicker, their light dimming for a moment. Hannah grabs your arm, her grip firm, and pulls you toward the shrine. She says you must pray together, that it is the only way to keep the promise alive. You follow, your heart pounding, the box tucked under your arm. The shrine smells of incense and old wood, its altar adorned with offerings of rice and flowers. You kneel beside her, mimicking her movements. Though you do not understand why. As you bow, the flute begins again, its notes sharper now, almost urgent. You glance at Hannah, but she is focused, her lips moving in silent prayer. You feel the box in your hands, its carvings pressing into your skin, and wonder what it holds. The melody swirls around you, pulling at your thoughts, and for a moment, you swear you see a shadow move across the shrine's walls, swift and bird-like. You blink, and it is gone. Hannah finishes her prayer and looks at you, her face pale. She says you must stay in the village tonight, that it is not safe to leave until dawn. You want to protest, to demand answers, but the weight of her gaze silences you. You nod, and she leads you to a small inn at the village's edge, its roof sagging under the weight of time. The innkeeper, a man with kind eyes, offers you a room without question. You thank him, clutching the box tighter, and follow Hannah inside. Your room is small, its tatami mats worn but clean. Hannah lingers at the door, her expression unreadable. She tells you to rest, that she will find you at dawn when the sparrows sing. You want to ask more, but she is gone before you can speak, her footsteps fading into the night. You sit on the futon, the box in your lap, its carvings glinting in the lantern's light. The flute's melody echoes in your mind, soft but persistent, and you wonder what you have stumbled into. The village is quiet now, save for the distant hum of the stream. You lie down, the box beside you, and close your eyes, the weight of the unknown pressing against your chest. You wake to the soft creak of the inn's wooden floorboards, the sound pulling you from a dream you can't quite grasp. The room is dim, lit only by the faint glow of a lantern flickering in the corner. You sit up, your heart thudding, the wooden box still resting beside you on the futon. Its carved sparrows seem to shimmer, catching the light in a way that feels almost alive. You reach for it, your fingers tracing the delicate lines, and feel a strange warmth, as if the box holds a pulse of its own. The village outside is silent, save for the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. You wonder where Hannah is, why she left so abruptly last night, and what she meant by keeping the promise alive. You rise, your bare feet cold against the tatami mats, and peer out the window. The village is cloaked in pre-dawn mist, the lanterns along the path glowing like fireflies. You feel an urge to find Hannah, to demand answers about the box and the shrine, but her words echo in your mind, stay until dawn. You glance at the box, again its weight tugging at your thoughts. You consider opening it just to peek, but her warning stops you. Instead, you dress quickly, slipping the box into a cloth bag you find in the room, and step outside. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth. You follow the path back toward the shrine, your steps quiet but purposeful. The flute's melody from last night lingers in your memory, its notes weaving through your thoughts like a half-forgotten song. As you walk, you notice something odd. The lanterns seem to flicker in rhythm, as if synchronized with your heartbeat. You pause, watching the light pulse softly, and feel a prickle at the back of your neck. You tell yourself it's just your imagination, but the village feels different now, as if it's watching you. Halfway up the hill, you hear footsteps behind you. You turn, expecting Hana, but it's a young man, his face partially hidden by a scarf. He introduces himself as Kato, his voice low and cautious. He says he saw you at the shrine last night with Hana, and there's something you need to know. You hesitate, unsure whether to trust him, but his eyes are earnest, almost pleading. He gestures for you to follow him to a small clearing off the path where a stone bench sits beneath a cherry tree. You sit, the box heavy in your bag, and wait for him to speak. Kaito tells you a story, his words measured but laced with urgency. He says the village has a secret, one tied to the shrine and the sparrows that sing at dawn. Long ago, a woman named Aiko lived here, a musician whose flute could calm even the wildest storms. She was loved by all, but her heart belonged to a man who betrayed her, leaving her for another. In her grief, Aiko played her flute at the shrine every dawn, her music weaving a spell that bound her spirit to the village. Kato's voice drops as he says her spirit never left, that the sparrows carry her song, and the box you hold is tied to her unfinished promise. You feel a chill, not from the air but from his words. You ask what this has to do with Hana, with you. Kato glances at the bag, his expression darkening. He says Hana's family is connected to Aiko, that the box holds something of her spirit, something that must be protected. He warns you not to open it, no matter what, or the balance of the village could unravel. You press him for more, but he shakes his head, saying it's not safe to speak here. He points to the shrine, its torii gate barely visible through the mist, and tells you to find Hana there at dawn. You stand, your mind spinning. Kato's story feels like a folk tale, yet the weight of the box in your bag grounds it in reality. You thank him, though your voice wavers, and continue up the path. The flute's melody returns, faint but unmistakable, drifting from the direction of the shrine. You quicken your pace, the mist curling around your ankles like a gentle hand. When you reach the shrine, it's empty, the altar untouched since last night. You kneel, hoping for clarity, but the silence is heavy, broken only by the distant trill of a sparrow. You sit back, the box in your lap, and think of Hana. Her urgency, her trembling hands, her cryptic words. You wonder if she's hiding something, or if she's as lost in this mystery as you are. The melody grows louder, and you notice a faint glow at the edge of the shrine, near a cluster of stones. You approach, your heart pounding, and see a small jade pendant half buried in the dirt. You pick it up, its surface cool and smooth, carved with a single sparrow. It feels familiar, like something from your childhood, but you can't place it. Footsteps crunch behind you. You turn, clutching the pendant, and see Hana. Her face is pale, her eyes wide with something between fear and relief. She asks why you're Here, her voice sharp, and you hold up the pendant, demanding answers. She softens, stepping closer, and says the pendant was hers, a gift from you long ago when you made your promise. You frown, the memory still out of reach, but her words stir something deep within you. She takes the pendant, her fingers brushing yours, and says you must trust her, that the box and the pendant are linked, and dawn will reveal everything. You nod, though doubt gnaws at you. Hannah leads you back to the inn, her silence heavy. She promises to meet you at dawn, her voice softer now, and leaves you at the door. You return to your room, the pendant's weight in your pocket, the box's carvings glinting in the lanterns. Light. You lie down, the melody echoing in your mind, and wonder what promise you made, what secret Hannah carries, and why the village feels alive with whispers. The mist outside thickens, and you close your eyes, the sparrow's song pulling you toward sleep. You lie awake, the futon beneath you stiff and unfamiliar, the lantern's glow casting long shadows across the room. The wooden box sits on the floor beside you, its carved sparrows seeming to shift in the flickering light. You turn the jade pendant over in your hand, its smooth surface cool against your skin. The sparrow carving feels alive, almost as if it could take flight. You try to recall the moment you gave it to Hannah, the promise she keeps mentioning, but your memories are like scattered petals, beautiful but incomplete. The village outside is quiet, yet the silence feels heavy, as if it holds secrets too fragile to speak. You rise, unable to sleep, and step to the window. The mist has thickened, curling around the inn like a living thing. You catch a faint sound, the flute's melody again, drifting through the night. It's closer now, pulling you like a thread. You slip on your sandals, tucking the pendant into your pocket and slinging the bag with the box over your shoulder. You tell yourself you'll just walk, clear your head, but your feet carry you toward the sound, back to the shrine. The path is darker now, the lanterns dimmed as if reluctant to light your way. You move carefully, the mist dampening your clothes, the air thick with the scent of cedar and earth. The flute grows louder, its notes weaving a story you can't quite grasp. You wonder if it's Aiko's spirit, as Cato said, or something else entirely. Your heart beats faster, not from fear, but from a strange anticipation, as if you're on the verge of remembering something vital. At the shrine, the Torii gate looms through the mist, its red paint faded but striking. You pause, the flute's melody swirling around you, and notice a figure standing near the altar. It's not Hannah, but a woman you've never seen, her kimono pale as moonlight, her hair cascading like ink down her back. She holds a flute to her lips, her fingers delicate and sure. You freeze, unsure whether to approach, but she lowers the flute and turns, her eyes meeting yours. They're deep, endless, and for a moment, you feel as if she sees every thought you've ever had. You take a step forward, your voice catching as you ask who she is. She smiles, soft but sad, and says her name is Aiko. Your breath hitches, Cato's story flooding back. You ask if she's real, if she's the spirit tied to the sparrows, but she only tilts her head, her gaze drifting to the box in your bag. She says you carry something precious, something that binds you to this place. You clutch the bag tighter, asking what it means, but her smile fades, and she points to the altar where a single sparrow perches, its eyes glinting like stars. The sparrow takes flight, circling you once before vanishing into the mist. Aiko tells you to listen for its song at dawn, that it will guide you to the truth. You want to ask more, but she steps back, her form blurring into the mist, and the flute's melody fades. You're alone again, the shrine silent except for the soft drip of dew from the trees. You approach the altar, your hands trembling, and see a small scroll tucked among the offerings. You unfold it, the paper fragile, and read a single line. In elegant script, the promise lives in the song. You pocket the scroll, your mind racing. You think of Hannah, of Cato's warning, of Aiko's words. The box feels heavier now, its carvings pressing against the bag. You turn back to the village, the mist parting slightly as if to guide you. Halfway down the path you see Hannah, her kimono glowing faintly in the dim light. She looks startled, asking why you're here, her eyes flicking to the bag. You tell her about Aiko, the scroll, the sparrow, and her face pales. She grabs your hand, her grip cold, and says you shouldn't have come alone. You pull away, demanding to know what's happening, why she's so afraid. Hannah hesitates, her eyes searching yours, then says the box holds a piece of Aiko's heart, a relic of her unfulfilled love. She says the promise you made as children was to protect it, to keep Aiko's spirit at peace. You frown, the memory still elusive, but her words stir something deep. A flicker of you and Hannah under the stars, swearing to guard something sacred. You ask why it matters now, and she says someone else seeks the box, someone who wants to break the promise for their own gain. You feel a chill, the mist closing in. Hannah says you must stay close, that dawn is coming, and the sparrow's song will reveal the next step. You nod, though questions burn in your chest. She leads you back to the inn, her silence heavy, and you notice her glance over her shoulder, as if expecting pursuit. Inside your room, you set the box and scroll on the table, the pendant beside them. Hannah lingers, her expression torn, and says she'll return before dawn. You watch her go, the door sliding shut with a soft thud. Sit, staring at the box, the scroll, the pendant. The flute's melody echoes in your mind, softer now, like a lullaby. You wonder who seeks the box, what they want with Aiko's heart, and why you feel so bound to this village. The lantern flickers, casting sparrow-shaped shadows on the wall, and you lie back, the weight of the night pressing against you. Sleep tugs at your edges, but your thoughts linger on the shrine, the sparrow, and the promise you can't yet recall. You stir from a restless sleep, the room bathed in the pale gray of Predun. The lantern has burned low, its light barely touching the wooden box, the jade pendant, and the scroll on the table. You sit up, your breath visible in the chilly air, and listen. The village is silent, but you feel a hum, like the world holding its breath. You reach for the pendant, its sparrow carving smooth under your thumb, and try to piece together the fragments of last night. Aiko's ghostly figure, the scroll's cryptic words, Hannah's fear. The promise you made as a child feels closer. Now a memory teasing the edges of your mind, but it slips away like mist. You dress quietly, the box heavy in your bag as you slip it over your shoulder. The scroll and pendant go into your pocket, their weight grounding you. You step outside, the air sharp with the scent of dew and pine. The path to the shrine calls you, its pull stronger now, as if the village itself urges you forward. You glance. At the inn's door, expecting Hannah, but she's not there. You hesitate, her warning about staying close echoing in your thoughts. But the need for answers drives you onward. The mist is thinner now, the lanterns along the path glowing faintly, their light guiding you up the hill. You hear it then, the sparrow's song, faint but clear, a single note cutting through the silence. It's not the flute, not Aiko's melody, but something pure, like a call to wake the world. You quicken your pace, the shrine's torii gate emerging through the haze. The air feels charged, as if the dawn is a threshold you're meant to cross. At the shrine, you find Hannah kneeling before the altar, her hands clasped in prayer. She doesn't notice you at first, her focus intense, her lips moving silently. You step closer, the sparrow's song growing louder, and call her name. She startles, her eyes wide, then softens when she sees you. You ask why she didn't wait, and she says she had to come early to prepare. You notice a small bundle beside her, wrapped in cloth, and a flicker of unease passes through you. You ask what it is, but she shakes her head, urging you to kneel beside her. You do, the box in your bag pressing against your side. The sparrow's song swells, joined by others, a chorus that seems to rise from the earth itself. You feel a warmth in your pocket, where the pendant rests, and pull it out. It glows faintly, the sparrow carving catching the first rays of dawn. Hannah gasps, reaching for it, but stops short, her eyes fixed on the altar. You follow her gaze and see a shadow move, swift and bird-like, across the shrine's walls. Your heart races, but you stay still, the song anchoring you. Hannah whispers that the sparrows are Aiko's messengers, carrying her heart's wish. She says the box you hold is the key, but it needs the pendant to unlock its truth. You hesitate, the memory of Kato's warning flashing through your mind. You ask who seeks the box, who threatens the village's balance. Hannah's face tightens, and she says his name. Ren, a man from her past, someone who loved her once but turned bitter when she chose another. You feel a pang, a memory of Hannah's laughter under the stars, and wonder if you were part of that choice. The sparrow's song shifts, sharper now, and you notice the bundle beside Hannah tremble, as if something inside stirs. You point to it, demanding to know what she's hiding. She hesitates, then unwraps it, revealing a small flute. It's wood, polished but old. You recognize it from Aiko's hands last night, and your breath catches. Hannah says it's been in her family for generations, passed down with the duty to protect Aiko's heart. She says Ren wants it, wants the box, to break Aiko's spell for his own gain, to free himself from a past he can't escape. You clutch the box tighter, its carvings warm under your fingers. You ask why Ren believes he can break the spell, and Hannah's eyes darken. She says he thinks Aiko's heart holds power, a way to rewrite his fate, but opening the box without the sparrow's song could unleash chaos. You feel a chill, the dawn light creeping over the shrine, casting long shadows. The sparrows sing louder, their notes urgent, and you sense time is running out. Hannah takes your hand, her touch cold but steady, and says you must trust her, that the promise you made binds you to this moment. You nod, though doubt lingers, and place the pendant on the altar beside the flute. The sparrow's song peaks, a wave of sound that makes your skin tingle. You feel the box pulse, as if responding, and Hannah begins to chat, her voice soft but firm. You join her, mimicking her words, though you don't understand them. The air grows heavy, the shadows dancing faster. A rustle breaks the moment. You turn and see Kato at the edge of the shrine, his scarf gone, his face tense. He calls your name, warning you to stop, saying Hannah hasn't told you everything. You freeze, the box in your hands, the pendant glowing brighter. Hannah's chant falters, her eyes darting between you and Kato. You demand to know what he means, but he only points to the path where footsteps echo in the mist. Someone is coming. Hannah grabs the flute, her face pale, and urges you to follow her deeper into the shrine, away from the approaching figure. You hesitate, torn between Kato's warning and Hannah's plea. The sparrow's song fades, leaving only the sound of your heartbeat and the distant steps. You clutch the box, its weight a reminder of the promise you can't yet recall, and step toward Hannah. The dawn light breaking over the village, casting everything in gold. You follow Hannah deeper into the shrine. The wooden floor cool beneath your feet, the air thick with the scent of incense and old cedar. The box in your bag feels heavier, its carvings pressing through the cloth as if urging you to keep moving. Hannah clutches the flute tightly, her steps quick and silent, her eyes darting to the shadows. The dawn light filters through the shrines. Paper screens, casting a golden glow, but it does little to ease the tension coiling in your chest. Kato's warning echoes in your mind, his words about Hannah hiding something gnawing at your trust. Yet the sparrow's song, now faint, pulls you forward. A thread tying you to this moment. Hannah leads you to a small chamber at the back of the shrine, its walls adorned with faded paintings of sparrows in flight. A single candle burns on a low altar, its flame steady despite the draft. You ask her what Keiko meant, your voice sharper than intended, and she pauses, her back to you. The flute trembles in her hands as she turns, her face caught between guilt and resolve. She says Kato doesn't understand, that he's afraid of the truth, but you press her, demanding to know what she's keeping from you. The footsteps from the path grow louder, closer, and your heart races, caught between her secrecy and the approaching stranger. She sets the flute on the altar next to a small stone carved with a sparrow, and takes your hands. Her touch is cold, but her eyes burn with urgency. She says the promise you made wasn't just to protect the box, but to protect her, to stand with her against those who would misuse Aiko's heart. You frown, a memory flickering. You and Hannah, children under a cherry tree, swearing to guard each other's secrets. It's hazy, but the weight of it settles in your chest. You ask why she didn't tell you everything, and she says she was afraid you'd leave. You'd think her mad for believing in spirits and promises. The footsteps stop outside the chamber. You turn, expecting Kato, but a man steps into the light, his face sharp and shadowed. He's older than you, his dark hair streaked with gray, his eyes cold but familiar. Hannah whispers his name, Ren. Your pulse quickens as you recognize the man from her story, the one who seeks the box. He smiles, but it's empty, his gaze fixed on the bag at your side. You step back, clutching it tighter, and ask what he wants. His voice is smooth, almost charming, as he says he only wants what's his, what Aiko's heart owes him. You glance at Hannah, her face pale, her hands trembling. She steps between you and Ren, her voice steady despite her fear. She tells him to leave, that the box isn't his to claim, but he laughs, soft and bitter. He says Aiko's spell ruined him, bound him to a life he didn't choose, and the box holds the key to his freedom. You feel the pendant in your pocket, its warmth pulsing, and wonder if it's tied to his claim. You ask why he thinks he can break the spell, and he steps closer, his eyes narrowing. He says he loved Hana once, that she promised herself to him before choosing another, and Aiko's heart will right that wrong. Hana shakes her head, her voice breaking as she says she never promised him anything, that his anger twisted his memories. You feel a pang, the memory of your childhood vow sharpening. You wonder if you were the one she chose, if your promise was more than just protecting the box. Ren's gaze shifts to you, and he smirks, as if reading your thoughts. He says you're just a pawn, drawn here by a promise you don't even remember, and that Hana's using you to keep the box from him. Doubt creeps in, but you push it aside. The sparrow's song faint but steady in your mind. Hana grabs the flute, holding it like a shield, and tells Ren he'll never understand Aiko's heart. She says it's not about power, but love, and only those who honor it can wield it. You step forward, the box heavy in your hands, and tell Ren to back off. His smile fades, and for a moment you see pain in his eyes, raw and unguarded. He says he doesn't want to hurt anyone, but he won't. Leave without the box. The candle flickers, casting his shadow across the sparrow paintings, and you feel the air shift heavier now, as if Aiko's spirit is watching. You hear a rustle outside, and Kato appears, his face tense but determined. He tells Ren to stop, that the village won't let him disrupt its balance. Ren laughs again, but it's strained, and he takes a step toward you. Hana raises the flute, her voice low as she begins to play, the notes soft but piercing, echoing Aiko's melody from last night. The sparrow's song joins in, louder now, and you feel the pendant pulse in your pocket, the box warm in your bag. Ren hesitates, his eyes flickering with something like fear. The melody grows, filling the chamber, and you notice the stone sparrow on the altar glow faintly, its eyes catching the candlelight. You step closer to Hana, the box between you, and feel a connection, as if the promise is waking within you. Ren shouts, his voice breaking through the music, demanding you give him the box. You refuse, your voice steady, and Kata moves to your side, his presence grounding you. The sparrow's song peaks, and the chamber feels alive, the air humming with unseen energy. Ren lunges, but Hana's melody holds him back, his movements sluggish as if the music binds him. She looks at you, her eyes pleading, and says you must take the box to the shrine's heart, a hidden chamber beneath the altar, before dawn fully breaks. You nod, the pendant burning in your pocket, and follow her lead, Kato guarding your back. As Ren's shouts fade into the melody, the sparrows sing on, guiding you deeper into the shrine's secrets. You descend a narrow stone staircase behind the altar, Hana's flute guiding your steps with its haunting melody. The air grows cooler, damp with the scent of earth and ancient wood. Kato follows close behind, his breath steady but tense, the box in your bag a constant weight against your side. The pendant in your pocket pulses faintly, its warmth a quiet reassurance as the sparrow's song echoes from above, muffled but persistent. Hana's notes weave through the darkness, each one sharp and clear, as if calling something to life. You feel the shrine's heart, this hidden chamber, drawing you closer, its secrets humming in the walls. The staircase opens into a small circular room, its walls carved with intricate sparrows, their wings spread as if caught mid-flight. A single stone pedestal stands at the center, bathed in the soft glow of a lantern hanging above. You pause, your eyes adjusting to the dim light, and notice a shallow groove in the pedestal, shaped like the box in your bag. Hannah stops playing, her flute lowered, her face pale but resolute. She says this is the shrine's heart, where Aiko's spirit rests and where the promise must be fulfilled. You ask what that means, your voice echoing in the chamber, but she only points to the pedestal. Kaito steps forward, his gaze wary, and says you need to be sure before acting. He glances at Hana, his expression torn, and you sense the rift between them, a history you don't fully grasp. You pull the box from your bag, its carvings glinting in the lantern's light, and feel a tug in your chest, as if the promise you made to Hannah as children is waking. You ask her what happens when you place the box, and she says it will bind Aiko's heart to the village forever, keeping Ren at bay. But her eyes flicker, and you wonder if there's more she's not saying. You step toward the pedestal, the box heavy in your hands, but Kaito grabs your arm, his voice low. He says Hana hasn't told you the cost, that binding Aiko's heart might tie you to the village too. You freeze, the pendant burning in your pocket, and turn to Hana. Her face softens, but she doesn't deny it. She says the promise was always about sacrifice, that you swore to stand with her no matter what. You feel a memory surface, you and Hana, under a cherry tree, your hands clasped, vowing to protect something greater than yourselves. It's clear now, but the weight of it unsettles you. The sparrow's song grows louder, vibrating through the chamber, and you hear footsteps on the stairs. Rin's voice cuts through the air, sharp and desperate, calling your name. You turn, seeing his silhouette at the chamber's entrance, his eyes wild with determination. He says you don't understand what you're doing, that the box isn't just Aiko's heart, but a curse that trapped him, and opening it could free him. You clutch the box tighter, torn between Hannah's plea and Ren's claim, the pendant pulsing like a heartbeat. Hannah steps forward, her flute raised, and begins to play again, the notes fierce and unyielding. The sparrow's song joins her, a chorus that makes the air hum, and you feel the pedestal vibrate, as if responding. Ren stumbles, his hands covering his ears, but he pushes forward, shouting that Hana's lying, that she wants the box's power for herself. You look at her, searching for truth, but her eyes are fixed on the pedestal, her melody unwavering. Kaito moves to block Ren, his voice calm but firm, telling him to leave before it's too late. You stand frozen, the box in your hands, the pendant glowing in your pocket, the scroll's words echoing in your mind. The promise lives in the song. You ask Hannah if Ren's right, if she's hiding something, and she falters, her flute lowering. She says she only wants to protect the village, to honor Aiko's love, but her voice cracks, and you see doubt in her eyes. You turn to Kaito, asking what he knows, and he says the box holds Aiko's heart, but also her pain, and binding it might trap you all in her sorrow. Ren lunges, breaking past Kaito, and reaches for the box. You pull back, the pendant falling. From your pocket, its glow illuminating the chamber. The sparrow's song peaks, and you feel a surge, as if Aiko's spirit is here, urging you to choose. You look at the pedestal, the groove waiting, and then at Hana, her eyes pleading, and Ren, his face twisted with desperation. You step toward the pedestal, your heart pounding, and place the box in the groove. It fits perfectly, the carvings aligning with the stone, and a soft hum fills the chamber. Hana's melody softens, and the sparrow's song fades, leaving a heavy silence. Ren shouts, falling to his knees, his hands clutching his chest. Kato grabs your shoulder, asking if you're sure, but you feel a calm settle over you, as if the promise is complete. The pendant's glow dims, and the box pulses once, then stills. Hana drops her flute, tears in her eyes, and says you've done it, that Aiko's heart is safe. But you feel a tug, a weight in your chest, as if part of you is now tied to this place. Ren rises, his face pale, and says it's not over, that the box's power can't be contained. He turns and vanishes up the stairs, his footsteps echoing. Hana collapses against the pedestal, her breath ragged, and Kato helps her stand, his eyes on you. You feel the chamber's walls close in, the sparrow's carvings watching, and wonder what you've just done, what price you've paid to keep the promise. You stand in the shrine's hidden chamber, the air still humming with the echo of the sparrow's song, though it has faded to a whisper. The box rests in the pedestal's groove, its carved sparrows glinting faintly in the lantern's light. The pendant lies on the floor where it fell, its glow dim but steady, like a heartbeat slowing. Hana leans against the pedestal, her face pale, her breath uneven. Kato stands beside her, his eyes searching yours, a mix of relief and concern. You feel the weight of what you've done, the box now bound to the shrine's heart, but a quiet unease lingers, as if the promise you kept has tethered you to something larger, something you don't yet understand. You ask Hana, what happens? Now your voice soft in the heavy silence. She straightens, brushing a strand of hair from her face, and says the village is safe, that Aiko's heart will rest as long as the box remains here. But her eyes avoid yours, and you sense she's holding something back. You press her, asking about the cost Kato mentioned, the chance that you're now tied to this place. She hesitates, then says the promise was always a shared burden, that your choice to place the box means you've honored it, but it might anchor you to the village's fate. You feel a chill, the memory of your childhood vow sharper now. And Hana, hands clasped, swearing to protect each other and something sacred. Kato steps forward, his voice low but firm. He says the shrine's heart is a place of balance, but it demands loyalty. He looks at Hana, his expression unreadable, and says she should have told you everything, that the box binds not just Aiko's spirit, but those who guard it. You turn to her, your heart pounding, and ask if you're trapped here. She shakes her head, her voice trembling as she says you're free to leave, but the village will always call you back, like it did her. You feel the pendant's weight in your hand as you pick it up, its sparrow carving warm, and wonder what part of you now belongs to this place. A faint sound breaks the tension, the soft trill of a single sparrow from above. You glance up, though the chamber's ceiling hides the sky, and feel a pull, as if the song is meant for you. Hana picks up the flute, her fingers steady now, and says you must return to the village, that dawn is breaking, and the sparrows will guide you. You nod, slipping the pendant into your pocket, the scroll crinkling beside it. Kato leads the way up the stairs, his steps cautious, as if expecting Ren to return. But the shrine is empty, the altar bathed in the soft gold of morning light. Filtering through the mist dot outside, the village feels different, lighter, as if a weight has lifted. The lanterns along the path glow faintly, their light no longer pulsing. You walk beside Hana, Kato trailing behind, and notice the villagers. Emerging from their homes, their faces calm, their eyes meeting yours with quiet gratitude. An old woman, the same one who gave you tea, nods as you pass, her smile warm but knowing. You wonder if they felt the shift, if they know what you've done. The sparrow's song follows you, a single note weaving through the air, and you feel it settle in your chest, a reminder of the promise. Hannah stops at the edge of the village, near the creaking wooden bridge where you arrived. She turns to you, her eyes soft but heavy with unspoken words. She says you've done more than she could have asked, that the village owes you a debt it can never repay. You ask about Ren, if he'll come back, and she says he's gone for now. Weakened by the box's binding, but his anger might draw him back one day. You feel a pang, the memory of his pain, his claim that Aiko's heart trapped him. You wonder if he was right, if the box holds more than love. Kato joins you, his scarf loose around his neck, and says the village will protect the shrine, that you've given them time to prepare. He looks at Hana, a silent understanding passing. Between them and you sense their shared history, a bond forged by this place. You ask Hana if she stay, and she nods, saying the village is her home, her duty. You feel a tug, the pendant warm in your pocket, and ask if you'll feel the village's call, as she said. She smiles, sad but certain, and says you'll know when the sparrows sing. You glance at the bridge, the path beyond leading back to the world you know. The box is gone from your hands, but its weight lingers, a quiet presence in your chest. You think of Aiko, her flute, her love, and wonder if her spirit is at peace. The sparrow's song grows softer, fading into the rustle of cherry blossoms in the breeze. You take a step toward the bridge, Hana and Kato watching their figures, framed by the rising sun. You feel the promise, not just to Hana, but to this place, anchoring you even as you prepare to leave. The village hungs with life now, the mist lifting, the lanterns dimming in the dawn. You turn back once, seeing Hana raise the flute to her lips, a single note drifting after you. The sparrows sing, their voices a chorus, and you know this isn't the end, that the village, the shrine, and Aiko's heart will call you back one day. You stand at the edge of the village, the wooden bridge creaking softly under your feet as the dawn sun paints the sky in hues of pink and gold. The sparrow's song lingers in the air, faint now, like a whisper carried on the breeze. Hana stands beside you, her flute tucked into her kimono, her eyes fixed on the horizon. Kato lingers a few steps behind, his scarf fluttering in the wind, his gaze steady but distant. The pendant rests in your pocket, its warmth a quiet reminder of the promise you've kept, though its full weight still settles in your chest. The box is gone, bound to the shrine's heart, but you feel its presence, as if Aiko's spirit watches from the shadows of the cherry trees. You turn to Hana, the morning light softening her features, and ask what happens next, if the village is truly safe. She smiles, but it's tinged with sadness, and says Aiko's heart is at rest, the balance restored. She says the sparrows will sing at dawn each day, a sign that her love endures. but her voice falters when she speaks of you. You press her, asking if the village's call will pull you back, as she warned. She nods, her eyes meeting yours, and says the promise ties you to this place, not as a chain, but as a thread, one you can follow or let fade. You feel the pendant pulse and wonder if you'll ever truly leave. Kato steps closer, his voice low, and says the village owes you more than words can express. He says he doubted you at first, but your choice to trust Hannah, to place the box, proved your heart. You glance at him, sensing the weight of his own ties to this place, and ask if he's bound here too. He shrugs, a faint smile breaking through, and says the village chooses its guardians, but it also lets them go. You wonder if that's true for you, if the sparrow's song will ever release you completely. The breeze carries a scattering of cherry blossoms, their petals brushing your skin like a gentle farewell. You think of Wren, his desperate eyes, his claim that the box trapped him. You ask Hannah if he'll return, if his pain will draw him back to the shrine. She hesitates, then says he's part of the village's story now, his fate tied to Aiko's heart, but the binding weakens him. She says you've given the village time, a chance to heal, but some wounds run deep. You nod, the memory of his anger lingering, and wonder if Aiko's love can mend what was broken. You take a step toward the bridge, the path beyond leading to the world you left behind. The sparrow's song softens, blending with the rustle of leaves and the distant hum of the stream. You feel the village's pull, subtle but real, like a melody you can't unhear. Hannah touches your arm, her fingers light, and says you're welcome here, always if the sparrows call. You smile, the pendant warm in your pocket, and thank her, though words feel small against the weight of what you've shared. Kato nods, a silent promise of his own, and you sense their bond, their duty to guard what you've helped protect. The sun climbs higher, the mist fully gone now, revealing the village in all its quiet beauty. You cross the bridge, each step heavier than the last, the sparrow's song fading but never silent. You glance back once, seeing Hannah and Kato framed against the cherry trees, their figures small but steadfast. The pendant in your pocket feels lighter, as if its purpose is complete, but the scroll crinkles, a reminder of the words. The promise lives in the song. You wonder if you'll hear it again, in dreams or in the quiet moments of your life beyond this place. The path stretches ahead, winding through the mountains, and you feel the world shift, the village's hum fading into memory. You think of Aiko, her flute, her love that bound a village, and your own promise, made under stars you barely recall. The sparrow's song follows you, a single note lingering, and you know this place has changed you, its story woven into your own. You keep walking, the bridge behind you, the dawn bright and endless. Some stories stay with us long after the words fade. Let this one rest beside you. Sleep deeply, and if it returns in your dreams, perhaps it was never truly gone.